Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra. With me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, the Nifty has now managed to gain for the 6 days straight in a row. In fact, yesterday the Nifty did see the range getting even narrower, which was the weekly expiry session also for the Nifty. Remember, it saw 80-point kind of a range. It ended the day higher. Remember, it also managed to inch up closer to the all-time high levels as well. The Nifty is just now 266 points away from its record high of 25,078 levels. And remember, we've actually seen that the markets are, definitely much better than the last week around when there was extreme volatility and the market sentiments were lower. This week has panned out to be much better. We're on the last day of this week as well, and more and more cues from the globe will now be looking at, keeping the direction of the Nifty going forward from here. Yesterday, barring the auto, pharma, probably some losses in the IT space, rest of the sectors, they all managed to do well. And the Nifty also has to thank the Nifty Bank for that uptick in the second half of trading session as of yesterday. We'll see whether, as of today, the Nifty Bank will be able to aid further support to the Nifty to inch closer to all-time high levels. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's the last day of the week, and more critically, the risk across the board in global equities is now in pause mode after a fantastic 6-day rally on Indian markets and about a 10-day rally on Wall Street. The reason is very simple. Today evening in America at about midnight our time, the US Federal Reserve will hold its most important meeting of the year, the Jackson Hole event, and at that point of time you will get clarity on what is likely to happen in September. A 25 basis rate point cut, which about 67% of the market participants are hoping for, or a bigger and deeper 50-point rate cut, which only 33% are waiting for. In any case, 100% of people are hoping that rate will be cut, and that's the reason why you had this very, very sharp rally on Wall Street, on Nifty as well. So today is a day of pause. At 24,811, the Nifty has added something like 850 points from its August 14th low, and at this point of time, as Sakshi has mentioned, it is about less than 1 percentage point away from its all-time high. Now comes the most crucial part. I'll also share the Bank Nifty chart with you. A 300-point uptick at 50,985 in yesterday's trade totals something to about 1,400 points over the last 5 sessions. What is very, very critical with the Nifty Bank is that this is where markets expect outperformance to come in. This is not at its close to its record high, but still above 21 and 50-day exponential moving average, and it has passed a very trying time over the last 2-3 months or so. So more importance and more momentum is likely to be in the Bank Nifty compared with the Nifty. 2 or 3 points I'd like to mention, Sakshi, and this is really, really important for people who want to enter the market near record highs. Ladies and gentlemen, across the board, whether it is mutual funds, whether it is PMS companies, whether it is family offices, or whether it is ultra HNIs, they have raised cash levels dramatically. Essentially, they are hoping that the market will consolidate from current levels after rising very, very smartly year to date in 2024, and that's the reason why they are keeping powder dry. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, when mutual funds, PMS schemes, ultra HNIs are raising cash in their portfolios, there is a slew of block deals happening in the markets where promoters are taking advantage of the sky high valuations and selling stake. Every day, Sakshi and I discuss 2 or 3 companies where block deals are happening. So this is, if not a dangerous market ahead, this is a guidepost which will help you to perhaps make sensible decisions in the times to come. So if the Nifty goes beyond 25,074, which was the previous high, it remains to be seen whether that double top is breached on the upper side or the markets correct from those levels. That will be known on Monday when the Jackson Hole event plans out. So today is likely to be a quiet day on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank after a sustained rally and a global risk off trade. What are the 2 or 3 stocks that I have in mind, ladies and gentlemen? We'll start with Hindalco. I had pointed out even yesterday that this is the top performer on the Nifty over the past 5 sessions, 8% higher, while metals are in a pain globally. Here is one stock that has done phenomenally well. The company has announced a $10 billion expansion plan to expand its smelting capacity, to expand its metal capacity in aluminium. Keep an eye out on this one. We will also be highlighting lots of stocks, in particular to Ambuja Cement and Nykaa. Again, block deals coming in today in the market. Please keep this in mind, especially in the cement space, where not only is it now becoming a volume space, but it is a battle between 2 groups, which is the Adani group, one side backing Ambuja and ACC, and the Kumar Mangalam Birla group, better known as Aditya Birla group, which is the largest producer of cement at Ultratech. If Ambuja raises this cash, obviously is looking to buy out smaller cement players. Sakshi, this is what I have in mind. As also, Sensex has its weekly expiry today. The counter, the index is just 900 points below its all-time high of 82,129, and it has added something like 2,320 points since August 14. So keep these in mind. There is a swing trade in the making on the downside. Let's hope it does not happen, but it is time to be extremely cautious after a very strong run up in the last 6 sessions. Sakshi, what are cues from Wall Street telling you?
Yes, absolutely, Shail. So after getting close to all-time high levels, the US markets are seeming to have lost some steam, led by technology giants. Stocks have declined and bond yields have increased as traders are now anticipating what could be on Jerome Powell's speech at the Jackson Hole Symposium. There are expectations he may suggest a potential rate cut, though likely at the slow and steady pace is what most of the experts are expecting. Now, the S&P 500 index that closed about 0.9% lower in trade. We did see the Nasdaq Composite fall about 1.7% odd, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average also end by about 0.4% in trade on the downside. So it was a weak trade overnight from the US. Now, following these cues, the Asian indices were also mixed in the early trading session today. Japan's Nikkei was just about 0.1% higher. It's now flattened out with a negative bias, 0.06% lower in trade. Kospi is down 0.5%. Hang Seng is down by 0.6%. Shanghai is absolutely flat. And the Gift Nifty is also indicating an absolutely flat start for the Indian markets at 24,837 odd levels as well. We've also seen that gold has experienced a sharp pullback from the record highs as the US dollar and bond yields also ticked higher. Oil prices bounced after falling to near a 6-month low as well. US jobless claims were steady at 232,000. Now, remember, Brent crude was trading at 0.13% higher at $77.3 a barrel, whereas gold was up by about 0.2% at $24.89 an ounce as well. Now, of course, apart from this, the overseas investors, they've turned net buyers of the Indian equities after 3 straight days of sell-off. FPI's bought stocks worth about 1371 odd crore rupees, whereas we saw that the domestic institutional investors also stayed net buyers for the 14th session in a row, and they bought stocks worth about 2,971 odd crore rupees as well. There are several stocks that you can keep an eye out on today. Zomato again will be in focus. Remember, yesterday we were talking about how it's going to be acquiring the ticketing business of Paytm. Now the company has announced that it will be shutting down Zomato Legends as it was unable to find product market fit for the company. Adani Power is going to be in focus. The NCLT has approved the company's resolution plan to buy Lanco Amarkantak Power for about 4,101 odd crore rupees. Nykaa will be in focus as Harinder Pal Singh, who was a pre-IPO investor in Nykaa, who is all set to sell up to 1.4% of his stake in the beauty and the personal care platform. Remember, at the floor price of 198 rupees per share, and Singh has been holding 6.4% of stake in Nykaa as per the June quarter. Ambuja Cements, again here, Holderin Investments, a promoter group entity, is launching a block deal to sell about 2.8% stake in Ambuja Cements for about $500 million. The floor price is set at 600 rupees per share, reflecting a 5% discount to the last closing price as well of 631 rupees. So keep an eye there. Recently listed firm Akums Drugs has announced that they have commenced the second production facility at Haridwar. Hindalco will be in focus. The company has announced massive capex plans of 80,000 crores. Copper smelter will be up and running by December as well. So that is going to be in focus. Jain Irrigation will be in focus. The company has announced that it has signed an MOU to facilitate the commercial release of advanced high-quality disease-resistant coffee plants to growers. Railtel Corp is in focus because the company has received a work order worth about 52.6 crores from UP. And Power Mech Projects is going to be in focus. The company will be issuing bonus shares in the ratio of 1:1. The company has set September 28 as the record date for eligible shareholders right there. SBI Life will be in focus. The company has received a GST order worth 239 odd crore rupees, including both interest and penalty. So those are some of the stocks that I will be keeping a keen eye out on, Shail.
A couple more that I'd like to. Mike, I'll request the PCR to fire the long-term chart of NIIT Limited. In a sea of block deals that Sakshi and I discuss regularly, where promoters of all hues and colors are hell-bent on taking advantage of this fantastic rally. Here are two promoters who have actually bought back about 17 lakh shares each of NIIT from an existing shareholder. Please keep this one in your radar because it's a rare event where promoters are actually buying back and increasing their stake in a company against the background of nearly 100 transactions happening in a month, where 99 promoters are very busy raising stakes, raising fresh money by selling existing stakes. So please keep this stock in our radar as far as prices are concerned. What else catches my attention? A couple of stocks which are doing very well in the markets as far as prices are concerned. We'll focus on TVS Motors. There is a block deal. There is a very good report that has come in from UBS, especially after the fantastic listing of Ola Electric, which is a pure two-wheeler electric play. Remember, TVS is one of the pioneers when it comes to two-wheeler companies making electric vehicles. They've just launched a revamped version of Jupiter at the same price yesterday, and the target is something fantastic. Keep an eye out on TVS Motors. Sakshi, do you have that UBS report that I'm talking about? Could you mention the target of TVS Motors that UBS has come up with?
Yes, UBS has raised the estimate on TVS to 3,200 post the new Jupiter 110 launch. It also expects it to boost volumes and the market share for the company, and also believes the two-wheeler volumes growth estimate will now be 14% versus the 11% earlier. There's also a JP Morgan report on TVS, which has also upgraded the stock to an overweight rating and has raised the target price by 32% at 3,050. And they've also said that within the two-wheeler pack, they expect both Bajaj Auto and TVS to outperform.
Yeah, Sakshi, a couple of points I'd like to make. In the 2024 period, the year-to-date period, which is 8 months and a couple of days that have been passed in August, TVS Motors is up 33%. Needless to say, yesterday was a record high. Bajaj Auto has appreciated 45%, and a very brief spark that you saw yesterday when the counter traded above its 10,000 rupee mark. So keep an eye out on both of them. And Sakshi, while we understand that these are mouth-watering returns, TVS 33%, Bajaj Auto 45% in 8 months. Remember, there are other stocks in the auto space that have very strongly outperformed. M&M is up 58%. Hold your breath. Auto ancillary Motherson Sumi is up 90% in the last 8 months. So this is driven by excessive liquidity that is in the market. Remember, this is also against the backdrop of a 70,000 crore rupee inventory pile-up of four-wheelers at dealer level. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the dichotomy which the Indian market is operating on. Stocks are going higher, companies are facing problems. Sakshi.
Right. Let's also point out some other brokerage reports as well. So, on the non-life insurance space, Jefferies has initiated their coverage on Go Digit with a buy rating and Star Health with a hold rating. They believe that motor insurance is in full throttle and health is under pressure. ICICI Lombard remains their top pick along with PB Fintech in the non-life insurance space. Real estate space will be in focus as Citi has come out with a report. They've raised the targets on several of real estate stocks. So DLF, they've hiked the target price to 790 versus 702. Sobha, they've hiked the target price to 1600 versus 1479. Phoenix Mills, they have hiked the target to 4040 versus 3885. And Oberoi Realty, they have upped the target to 1840 versus 1649. And lastly, Prestige Estates, where they maintain a buy rating and hiked the target price to 2020 from 1841. So those are some of the other reports also that we can continue to focus on as well. We'll be waiting for Mayuresh Joshi now to join in, the head of equity research at William O'Neill India, to help us understand with his views as well. Apart from this, we will also be asking him as to what kind of an impact can we expect once the Jackson Hole Symposium is underway, and how should investors be really tracking these overseas important cues? Will there be any meaningful impact on the Indian market? So those will be important points to discuss with him, along with the micro cues that we've been getting. Several sectors also and several stocks also throwing up a lot of opportunities. Trent is one stock that has been consistently buzzing, and that's one stock that even Mayuresh has thrown his weight behind in the past interaction. So we'll be asking him on that as well. So there is a slew of information that you should be looking forward to over the next 1 hour or so, Shail.
Yes, actually, and I'm waiting for Mayuresh to mic up. I have a very interesting development to share with him. Just 2 minutes ago, my better half was here getting this excellent coffee. She asked me, do you want some bhujia? And I said no, subah subah bhujia se din nahi shuru karna chahiye. But she said, Mayuresh is coming to the show, you must have some.
How sweet.
So I'll have to have some to keep, the better half happy. घर में शांति बहुत ज़रूरी है, as you know better. But we will be discussing bhujia. And there is a reason why we will be discussing Bhikaji Foods. I believe Mayuresh is trying to join. He'll be here in 2-3 minutes. And we have always, very good-naturedly, he has also accepted our leg pulling when it comes to Bhikaji Foods. Remember, he advised buying it at 470 rupees, I think now 850 and above. And before he comes in, I'll just repeat the stocks that he has spoken about in terms of long-term buys. Actually, now I keep this copy just next to me, below the laptop. So from Mayuresh, ladies and gentlemen, apart from Bhikaji Foods, we are also waiting for Praj Industries. This is a stock that he has recommended, doing phenomenally well. Capacity Infra, this is a real estate player, and of course the Wellspun twins, Wellspun Enterprises and Wellspun Corp. Mayuresh will be with us shortly, so we will be discussing these 4 stocks. And as Sakshi has mentioned, that the Jackson Hole event is on top of us. Mayuresh is with us. Good morning, Mayuresh. We were just discussing the 4 stocks that of the 3 that you spoken earlier, and of course Bikaji Foods. The company is now getting into the frozen foods segment by deciding to buy a controlling stake in Ariba Foods, which makes frozen samosas. So how do you see that deal impacting Bikaji Foods, and how does Friday look to you?
Friday looks very pleasant being with you guys, Shail sir. I look forward to Friday morning. So morning to you and Sakshi as well. And first of all, congratulations to Sakshi. I think she got an award 40 under 40.
Thank you so
So that's
much.
pleasant news that I heard during the week. But yeah, I think the frozen food market is a big
It's
market,
actually
Shail
30
sir.
under
And
30.
all of us
But
are
there is no
apparently telling.
category, na, Shell. There is no category. Everybody has to take that award only, no? So how will they know whether I'm still 30 under 30 or 40 under 40?
And she was hoping
Shail
it
sir,
would be
मुझे
20
मुझे
under
actually
20.
स्कूल से कोई अवार्ड ही
But
नहीं मिला है, तो
let's
पता ही
sort
नहीं
of
रहता
assume
फीलिंग क्या
anyway.
रहती है. No, so
Amazing.
coming back, I think the frozen food category is a huge category, and in fact, I think the kind of measures that are being taken, not just for frozen food, in fact, for the cold storage, logistic, and infrastructure as well. I think this is a huge leg up for the years ahead in terms of a lot of stuff that can be probably done. So yeah, I think a decent amount of expectations going forward.
Wonderful. Mayuresh, of course, we are all keeping a keen eye out on what will happen in the Western worlds tonight with the Jackson Hole Symposium. Help us understand, will there be any meaningful impact for markets like India? What are we looking forward to as cues, and what could propel the markets further from here as indications?
I think just to answer your question very simply in one line, I think earnings is what going to now propel the markets actually, because a large part of the expectations in terms of interest rate cuts are largely getting penciled in. Obviously, I think as the rate cut scenario starts evolving, you will have a positive reaction on global markets. But global markets will then start reverting in terms of inflation being under control. But is growth going to come back ferociously? I think that is where the concern is now coming through, whether growth is going to get stagnated even with rate cuts. Obviously, the second angle is geopolitics, and what evolves out of this is a large unknown for the market. So that obviously becomes a risk factor, but not too much of a risk factor if things are probably kept under check. But the most important driving factor is going to be earnings. And as I mentioned last Friday as well, we are coming in this financial year on the base of two very, very strong years. So this year might be a little bit flattish as far as earnings growth might be expected. But the next couple of years, earnings growth should come back to mean. And as a base case scenario, even if we grow at 12, 14%, because earnings have mirrored the stock market returns as well over the next 3 years, as they start coming back from the second half, I think the market premiums can then get very well justified along with the strong flows that we're getting. So not seeing any structural risks for any structural downside move forward.
Mayuresh, before you joined, Sakshi and I were discussing this huge cash level that we see now in mutual funds, in ultra HNI portfolios, family offices, PMSs. How are you reading this against the backdrop of another negative, at least in my mind, where promoters are raising cash by selling equity left, right, and center? What is this cash frenzy telling you about maybe a look ahead 2-3 months into the Nifty?
No, so I think, Shail sir, two perspectives to this. One, I think the 4-5% cash that mutual funds probably hold, I think that's an average holding, because if there is some knee-jerk reaction and if redemptions start coming through, they should be ready with that much amount of liquidity. So I think it's not out of the normal that at least the larger institutions, the domestic funds are holding a reasonable amount of cash. And I think 4-5% is reasonable enough with this assumption. The second element in terms of a lot of sectoral churn that is now being seen in the market. Obviously, there are very few pockets that are left where valuation comfort is probably there. And therefore, I think if decent amount of money is being made, I think a lot of investors that we speak to as well, both at a local and a global level as well, see the comfort factor in sitting on cash. So if there is some knee-jerk reaction that probably comes to the market, or some correction that probably comes in, and there are certain pockets which correct, it gives them an opportunity to start getting in rather than reacting at that juncture. So, in my opinion, I think it's a sane move and a very logical one in terms of maintaining those cash levels to probably enter for any reasonable or a decent correction that comes through in pockets which will then start looking very, very attractive.
Also, Mayuresh, as an extension, there's a lot of block deals that are taking place these days and huge, large trades. And even just now, we've got the update that Ambuja Cement's deal has taken place in the block deal window. 4.7 crore shares worth about 2,985 crores at 625 has changed hands. For Nykaa, about 0.7% equity has exchanged hands as well. How are you looking at these promoters making partial exits at this point in time? Is there any fine print reading that the investors should be doing here?
No, so again, I think if the selling is quite substantial and nothing is probably just getting justified for why the selling is probably happening. You've seen that in a lot of broad-based companies as well within the broader markets. So investors should be a little bit wary. But if stake sales are probably happening and if good quality investors are probably coming in and getting that growth capital into companies so that the companies can grow in terms of not just their own business dynamics, but probably even outpace the sector that they're working out of. I think it's a positive for investors because ultimately over a longer period of time, as growth dynamics start coming through in terms of reported numbers, they will ultimately reflect onto the bottom line and in terms of shareholders' return on equity. So I think it's the perspective that you should probably look at. But yes, I think some red flags in terms of some broader-based companies in the broader markets, which are probably where promoters are probably selling stake at this juncture. So I think be on the lookout for quality as a space, right? And therefore, we've always maintained at William O'Neill and Market India that stay with quality, stick with quality. Because with the frenzy that we've seen in the market, some of the broader market companies and the promoter selling thereof seems to be a little bit patchy. So I think staying put with quality always.
I think the line for today is stay with quality. And I cannot emphasize this enough. If you are a long-term investor over 15, 20, 25 years, that how beautifully quality compounds in your portfolio. Mayuresh, before the markets start clicking in, you were with us on 16th of August and you had mentioned three stocks, Praj Industries, Capacity Infra, Welspun Enterprises and Welspun Corp as long-term SIP candidates. Any names that you would like to add to? Let me just address the Nifty and I'll just come back to you. It's a very strong pre-opening quote, 158 points higher. And what is pulling it up? ICICI Bank, 24 rupees higher. Remember, this is the second heaviest weighted counter in the Nifty. I want to see Reliance, 17 rupees, 18 rupees higher. Remember, this is the week before the Reliance AGM and typically the stock appreciates in that week. Well above 3,000 now, 3,015. And what about HDFC Bank? HDFC Bank is 9 rupees 70 higher, 1641. Very quick look at what is happening in NSE 500 and then we'll head back to Mayuresh. Okay. Nykaa, the transaction has happened, 1.4% stake. The volume is 866 crores. Please keep an eye out on this one. Let's look at top gainers. JSW Energy, 2.7% higher. You have Sapphire Foods, 4.4% higher, 1680. Whenever Mayuresh comes, we have this wonderful discussion on food stocks. And Sakshi, what has also readjusted for 1:1 bonus is CDSL. 1,500 rupees, ladies and gentlemen. It's still up 3.5%. So that is the demand for quality. ACC is up 2.6%. IDFC is up 3%. Ambuja Cement 3% higher. A block deal worth 2,200 crores here also expected. Keep an eye out on these stocks. Nifty is a sensible 52 points higher at 24,862. Mayuresh, coming back to you, anything that you would like to add in Praj, Capacity Infra, Welspun Enterprises and Corp as long term over the next couple of days?
So, Shail sir, I think not many additions in terms of our long-term focus lists, but what we did add almost a week back as a momentum pick, so purely in terms of a medium-term call onto the markets is Prakash Pipes. Now, our belief here is that there are a lot of government incentives that are probably happening in terms of urban infrastructure and rural infrastructure as well. There is obviously the Nal Se Jal Yojana, which is a 70,000 crore capex program. And Prakash Pipes actually fits the portfolio quite well, both in terms of building pipes, both in terms of column pipes, line pipes, agricultural pipes, and sewage pipes as well. So, in the entire gamut in terms of servicing, as far as UPVC and CPVC pipes are concerned, with a large part of their operations being backward integrated, become very, very useful. A decent part of their business also comes in from flexible packaging, and that part of the business, as you see in the last quarter numbers, has also done well, both in terms of top line growth as well as operating performance. And therefore, I think in terms of expectations on how EBITDA margins might actually play out, they might actually play out in that 17-18% kind of a range for Prakash Pipes. There is decent expectations that they are largely concentrated in the north of the country, but we will have a significant amount of expansion done through the dealer and distribution network in the west and the south. And they're eyeing these key markets in terms of gaining entries and improving their market share as well. Last but not the least, from a balance sheet perspective, a very negligible amount of debt onto their balance sheet. And ROEs for their line of business remain extremely strong at 24-25%, which satisfies our CAN-SLIM criteria of 17.5%. Strong institution holding, a decent institution holding, and very strong expectations in terms of earnings growth, which might be in double digits over the next couple of years to say the least. So yeah, one momentum pick that we probably added is Prakash Pipes.
Okay, got it. Let's also welcome Aditya Agarwal, Head of Derivatives and Technical Research at Sanctum Wealth, now joining in. Warm welcome to you, Aditya. Good to have you with us. You tell us, where are you keeping your focus on within the markets right now? How do you expect the Nifty Bank to trade, and two stock ideas?
Morning, Sakshi. Well, I mean, if we see Nifty has already seen a big rally in last couple of trading sessions. From the low of 24,000, we are already at 24,800 levels. So now Nifty is trading near its very strong resistance zone, which is somewhere in the zone of 24,850, 24,900. So from those levels, we can see some profit booking, minor profit booking in Nifty. But yes, if we see overall structure is positive. Some time-wise correction may happen, but overall means we are recommending our clients to add Nifty or stocks on dips. If we see Bank Nifty, then Bank Nifty has not done anything. In fact, it's been consolidating in the range of 49,500 to 50,500, 600 levels for last couple of days. In last two trading sessions, we have seen some bout of buying interest in Bank Nifty, and we are more bullish on Bank Nifty from these levels as compared to Nifty. We are expecting that Bank Nifty may move towards 52,500, 52,800 levels also. So in this sector rotation now, we can see some positive traction in banking counters. I mean, if we see private sector banks, large cap private sector banks, be it ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, HDFC, or State Bank and from PSU space, they are looking positive. And we are expecting some positive move in these counters. So we are expecting that Bank Nifty may see another 2.5 to 3% kind of move from these levels. As far as stocks are concerned, means we are from these levels we are bullish on L&T. Means we see L&T stock has been trading. It has for last couple of trading sessions it has been trading in the range. So in the last 2 days we have seen some bout of buying interest. So we are expecting that L&T may outperform and it may move toward 37.30, 37.40 levels. So at current levels it can be bought with a stop loss of 35.60. Balkrishna is another stock which is looking positive from short to medium term perspective. Stock has seen a sharp correction from 3,400 to 2750, 2760 levels. Now, for last 3-4 days, we are seeing some short covering signs. So in this stock also we are positive with target of 2940, 2971 can buy at current levels, and stop loss will be around 2820.
$906, ladies and gentlemen, the Nifty is a modest 30 points higher. Remember, this is a risk of trade for at least today. Let us see how it moves ahead of the major event which all global risk on managers are looking at with a very deep thought as far as the future of markets is concerned. A very warm welcome to you, Aditya ji. Your view on a couple of stocks within the Nifty, starting with Hindalco.
Morning, Shail. Well, I mean, in metal space, for last 3 days, we are seeing some buying interest, be it means Hindalco or steel companies. Now, Hindalco, if we see now, it has already seen a big move from 600, 610 odd levels to 680. Now it's trading near this very strong resistance zone of 700. So we can see some minor profit booking in Hindalco from these levels. This is not a time to add fresh long position in Hindalco, as the stock is trading near this strong resistance zone of 700, and we can see some minor profit booking. So I will wait for some dip. If it stock comes in the zone of 675, 670 level, that's a good level to enter with a stop loss of 660, and target on higher side is not much. 700 is a target which we are expecting.
Fair point. I'll just mark a couple of stocks within the PSU basket which are moving in the pre-open trade. Let's look at Irida again, 1.5% higher, 261. Very quick one, Aditya. What are the charts of Irida telling you?
Well, if we are looking for short-term perspective, means we can see some positive traction. Stock can move towards 275, 280 odd levels. But stock means long-term charts, if we see, I'm expecting more of time correction in this stock. I'm expecting stock will continue to consolidate in a zone of 230 on lower side to 285, 290 on higher side. So in the short-term perspective, yes, we can see some 7 to 8% move. Stock can move towards 280. At current levels also, it's a good buy. We can initiate a long position with a target of 280 and stop loss will be 252.
Okay, got it. Let's get in Mayuresh back into the conversation. Mayuresh, let's get you to talk about the auto space, TVS Motors, especially after their launch of Jupiter 110. Several brokerage houses have upped their targets right here. And, we've seen Bajaj Auto climb up to record high levels as of yesterday. Where exactly are you keeping your focus within the two-wheelers?
No, so TVS Motors actually has been a stark outperform, and that is getting reflected in every passing quarter and the numbers that they report. So again, I think volumes, specifically in terms of both two-wheelers, expectations in terms of new launches, will obviously aid the overall growth as far as top line is concerned, because the pricing at which these launches are happening are also very, very reasonable. They have been judicious enough on an operating front to maintain their margins at a decent level as well. And therefore, I think the expectation largely is that earnings should be a steady state for TVS Motor. The other two-wheelers have also done well. So Bajaj Auto has also done exceptionally well over the past few quarters. Hero has been a sort of a laggard, both in terms of price action as well as earnings momentum. So anybody holding TVS, Bajaj Auto can hold. They are moving into late-stage basis as we see in markets with India. And valuations are tad bit on the higher side of their median range. So yeah, you can continue holding on TVS and Bajaj.
And how would you look at Ola Electric now? We did see the first sign of some cool off happening yesterday after that stellar one-way run-up, the stock doubling investors' money from the IPO levels. How are you looking at a fresh after this sudden sharp surge we've already seen in the first 1 week of its operations?
Yeah, I think there was a very interesting meme that came through, right? HDFC Bank took 8 years to double, Ola
Yes.
took 8 years to double. So valuations are no longer cheap. It still needs to correct. And though I love their bike, I don't love their stock at the current price.
A due note of caution, ladies and gentlemen, memes, while they make us laugh, they miss the broader picture. Amongst the finest wealth creators on the Lal Street has been HDFC Bank. It is going through a bad phase. It will reward you excellently if you remain patient.
Yes.
Hundreds, I am talking about hundreds, remember. It has gone up hundreds of times in the last 25 years since it was listed in 1995, if I'm not wrong. And it's okay to read a meme, it's okay to enjoy a meme, but to say that it's taken 8 years for HDFC Bank to double and Ola's done it in 2-3 working days, it's a bit stretched. It's sort of sort of laughs at how true wealth is created. Nevertheless, such is life, and we are happy to be in both boats, doubling money in 5 days and doubling money over 8 years. So no worries at all. 9:12. Let's get Aditya into the conversation, and let's take his views on Reliance. It's settled above 3,000 rupees, Aditya, ahead of the AGM, which is next week. What are the screens on Reliance telling you? 11 rupees 25 higher at 3,007.
Structure for Reliance is positive, means it has already seen a good move from 2,900. We are seeing some recovery, sign of recovery in this stock. So we remain bullish on this stock. We are expecting that it may move towards 3,080, 3,100 levels. But yes, we are not expecting a very sharp recovery. But yes, 3.5 to 4% kind of up move in Reliance can be seen in next few trading sessions. At current levels also means it's a good buy. It's with a stop loss of 29.71 can continue to add Reliance. But yes, upside targets is limited to 3,080 to 3,100 levels.
Okay, got it. Well, apart from this, Mayuresh, would you also throw your light on the new age internet space? We've seen a lot happening over the last 1 week. Zomato, Paytm, Nykaa. How are you really navigating through these new developments right there, and what still looks good to you?
So anybody holding Zomato should continue holding, because we've now seen quick commerce, and there were a lot of analysts who attended the Motilal conference where Zepto apparently gave a stunning set of forecasts for the next 4 to 5 years as far as quick commerce and e-commerce is concerned, and therefore Blinkit, Hyperpure, as they turn positive and PAT positive as well, there can be significant amount of both market share expectations as well as volume expectations and contribution and EBIT expectations as well. Obviously, the stock has moved up very sharply, but anybody holding can continue holding. Nykaa has shown a significant amount of turnaround, both in terms of contribution margins, their EBITDA margin contribution as well. And therefore, I think 200 odd stores opened. Their average delivery times have now got slashed to 2.2 days from 4 days. Their beauty and healthcare or the beauty and fashion products are expected to do well going forward as well. Their own brands expected to do well. But again, I think the stock also has moved up quite sharply over the past few days. So yeah, one can continue holding Zomato into your portfolios.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, tighten your seat belts. We are on the final day of this week, which has been fantastic for bulls. We've added 850 points on the Nifty, and we are looking for a mild rest today. Okay, 27 points higher on the Nifty. Bank Nifty starts on the back foot. A green tick on NSE 500, and the IT index is also down. Okay, now I am looking at Reliance for a specific reason today. 14 rupees higher, 3,009. Let's look at other winners within the super index heavyweight space, which decides the intraday fate of Nifty. Tata Motors, 0.5% higher, 0.5% higher at 1,076. Hindustan Unilever in the green, ITC in the green. HDFC Bank 4 rupees lower, 1626. A very quick look at most active counters, and you have the day starting with Ambuja Cement, 2.7% higher, 648. This is after the block deal. Look at CDSL, taking it away, 5.8% higher, post bonus adjustment of 1:1, 1528. Top gainers, ladies and gentlemen, Nykaa, again a block deal of 1.4% stake, 3.7% higher, 218.30. TVS Motors 3% higher, 27.91. The Nifty is flat as flat can be. A very quick one for you, Aditya. What will you do with CDSL and Ambuja Cement?
Well, Ambuja Cement is looking positive. Means after consolidation, we are seeing a breakout in Ambuja Cement. So I'm expecting that this up move may continue for some more time. And on the higher side, the stock has the potential to move towards 675 to 700 levels also. So a view on Ambuja Cement is positive, and means at current levels also, or on dips, it can be added. CDSL is in bull run. Means any correction in CDSL, 3-4 days of correction also we are seeing is a very good buying opportunity. recovery. Now, stock has already rallied a lot. So at current levels, I will avoid initiating fresh long position. Yes, stock comes in the zone of 1400, 1380. That's a good level to re-enter into fresh long position. But at current levels, risk reward ratio is clearly not in favor of CDSL.
Got it. So let's continue to look at what else is moving within the markets. TVS Motors is the top moving F&O mover right now, 3.5% higher. Ambuja Cements follows, about 3.3% higher in trade. You have Crompton, ICICI Lombard, Balkrishna Industries, something that even Aditya was mentioning. These are the stocks that are buzzing in the F&O space. Top mover on the Nifty. Auto Index is also 0.5% higher as the top moving index. So you do see Bajaj Auto upwards of 10,000 mark at about 1% higher in trade. Tata Motors follows. Then you also have stocks like Apollo Hospitals, Reliance Industries, Tata Consumer Products, Hindalco also buzzing in trade. There are some sectors that are not participating. So IT, private banks, financial services, realty, and also FMCG, they are not participating, but the rest of the market still up and about. There is some move within the PSU pack. HAL is about 0.5% higher in trade. You do see slight comeback of PFC, REC, 0.5% higher for these stocks. Coal India, HPCL, Container Corp, and HPC. These are some of the other stocks that are buzzing within the PSU basket as well right now. Then we also have Ola Electric. Let's look at, there is another day of a downtick, 2.3% lower at 128 odd levels currently for Ola Electric right now. So that's something that we have been keeping a keen eye out on as well. Ambuja Cements is definitely taking it away, 3.5% higher. You have Adani stocks like Adani Power moving up in trade, about 1.5% up in trade right now. Then remember, there were brokerage houses reports on the non-life insurance space. So you have some upticks coming in on Go Digit that has come on the radar of brokerage houses as well. Several other stocks. Nykaa is up by 3% right now. Then you have stocks like HCL Technologies still defying the move on the IT space right now. It's up and about right now in trade. Aditya, what catches your attention within the opening levels?
Well, among these counters, we are positive on Nykaa. Means if we see Nykaa stock has given up, means after a very big consolidation, stock has given up breakout on weekly charts, monthly charts. So I'm expecting that this stock may move towards 250, 265 levels in short term. So structure-wise positive, yes, stock has seen a sharp move in this week. It is already up 10, 11%. So we can see some minor dip, but that dip can be used to initiate long positions. Overall, we're expecting that stock may move towards 255 to 275 levels.
Got it. One more stock which is making a comeback is Raymond again. There is a 4.5% uptick right now. Let's get Mayuresh to talk about it. Mayuresh, we've discussed the Raymond story before as well. Now that the divergence news is mostly digested, what pulls up the stock higher now, and what would your fresh views be? 6% uptick today.
So they have divested a few quarters back the FMCG business. Balance sheet has become cash rich. Their real estate arm is doing very well. So I think the kind of development that is happening in Thane, the pre-sales and the velocity that you're probably seeing on the real estate numbers, they are picking up traction every passing quarter. And a part of their couple of engineering businesses where they still own market leadership, along with the existing businesses, seem to be on track because of the capital allocation. That is probably happening at this juncture, which is in a calibrated way and in the right direction as far as the business is concerned. So yeah, I think firing on all cylinders to put it such.
Absolutely. And in top gear are two-wheeler stocks. TVS Motors 3% higher, 2786. And ladies and gentlemen, this is an epochal event. Bajaj Auto is now in 5 digits. 10,086, 1.79% higher. I'll very quickly request Aditya to give a call on Bajaj Auto, and then we'll discuss the implications of this one. Aditya, what are the charts telling you?
Well, very positive chart means stock is trading at all-time high. Today it has made a new all-time high levels, and we are seeing some fresh long positions getting built up in the Bajaj Auto. So structure-wise, quite positive. Means I'm expecting that if we take a little bit of positional view, stock can move towards 10,700, 10,800 levels also. So at current levels, it's a very good buy with a stop loss of 98.50. We can expect target towards 10,750, 10,800.
Okay. Remember, this is an all-weather stock. Bajaj Auto is the most profitable two-wheeler company in the country. It is not having the highest revenue. It is not having the highest volume. It focuses only and only on profit, and it is the most profitable two-wheeler maker as far as numbers are concerned. Just to give you number, net profit stood at 7,732 crores for Bajaj Auto. For Eicher Motors, it is half that number, 3,662. I'm also trying to find out the profit number of Hero Motors. It will be substantially lower. We'll get back to this one. I'll give you that data. But an epochal event just happened. 5 digits on Bajaj Auto, and that is coming after the listing of Ola Electric. Now the market will focus on the EV business of listed players. Mayuresh, your first thoughts on the digit change in Bajaj Auto?
No, I think exceptional. And again, the numbers are probably justifying that to a certain extent, Shail sir, because I think exports was something which was lagging Bajaj Auto's overall numbers a few quarters back. This is probably getting back on track to a large extent. And obviously, I think the new launches are also working in its favor. The category that they're working within, right, the 150 or 200cc to 400cc, I think that is a category where competition is now proving up. But Bajaj has its presence through Pulsar and the modified version of with added features that Pulsar is probably expected to give the three-wheeler market, both in terms of domestic and exports, is also largely holding up. And therefore, I think with the cash-rich balance sheet that they have got and dynamics specifically on the export fronts getting normalized, numbers should be steady state. So as I mentioned, Bajaj, TVS, if anybody is holding, should continue.
Fair point. Sakshi, I'll just make two more important observations on Bajaj Auto. As I had mentioned, it's the most profitable two-wheeler company, 7,700 crores worth of net profit. Eicher Motors has a similar number at 3,600 crores, 3,662 crores. Hero Motors 4,153 and TVS Motors 1,872. So this, ladies and gentlemen, needs to be kept in mind. And remember, the revenue picture of three auto companies, two-wheeler companies, is almost similar. Bajaj Auto has a revenue of 46,500 crores, Eicher Motors at about 17,000 crores, Hero Motors almost 40,000 crores, and TVS Motors 41,000 crore rupees. That is the reason why I mentioned why Bajaj Auto needs to be looked at with a different lens, because of its profitability and business. 10,121 on Bajaj Auto, and of course Sakshi, the railway space is back. RVNL and IRFC are buzzing with gains. Let me just look at the entire rail space and give you a drawdown. Okay, RailTel 5% higher. You had mentioned a contract that they've got.
Yes.
RVNL 2.4% higher. IRCON 1.7% higher. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Of course, so the railway space is back, and apart from this, there are several other pockets within the gainers list that are also making a comeback. Several stocks that we rarely talk about as well are also making a comeback in trade. So from the textile space, you have Vardhman Textiles, you have office space solutions that continues to drive higher, 6.6% now. Remember, this is one stock that has been consistently moving up. Then we also have stocks like yes, RailTel we mentioned, it's 5% higher in trade. Pokarna is back in action, 5% up in trade as well. Looking at the Nifty Next 50 picture also will give us a sense that Zomato is buzzing about 2% higher in trade. You also have some real estate players like DLF making a comeback. Jio Financial Services also back in action. Some of the Adani group stocks are doing well. And Trent, something that we had mentioned that we will be asking Mayuresh about. It's about just 0.25% higher in trade. So let's get in Mayuresh's view on Trent now. Trent is something that we've also discussed in the past. Now, Mayuresh, is there any fresh move that you are expecting now that the company is going to be focusing on its third wheel of growth, that will be the hypermarket?
Also, I think I was doing some comparison checks in terms of how earnings have played out for Trent, and they have actually compounded at a very good pace. Now, Zudio has been the magic charm for Trent in the recent past, and the management expects Zudio should continue its outperformance in the next few quarters as well. But the stark differentiating factor between Trent and DMart is that a large part of DMart's revenues comes in from groceries, and the perception that has now got created is that the kind of apparels that they sell are reasonably priced apparels, while Trent, probably through Zudio, sells aspirational apparels. So I think the mistakes that the Tata Group did through the launch of Nano a few years back, I think they're not in the mood to repeat those mistakes. And the management believes that they'll create much more business lines like Zudio going forward as well, which has been successful. So earnings in line, expectations of earnings may remaining steady state going forward as well. Cost optimization has been in real earnest, reflecting on margins as well. Again, for a large part of market, including Trend, valuations definitely not in favor. But who can argue with the momentum that numbers and the price is probably giving? So I think anybody holding on should continue.
Okay, got it. Let's get Aditya also on board. Aditya, any fresh stocks that have come onto your radar? Several of the mid and small cap stocks are also buzzing in trade now.
Well, means right now I would like to go with the private sector banks. Means Axis Banks looks positive. Means if we see Axis Bank, it has been consolidating, and means for last 3-4 days, means stock is finding very strong support in the zone of 1160, 1155. So I'm expecting that this stock may see a positive traction. It may move towards 1210, 1220 levels. So at the current levels also, it can be bought with a stop loss of 1155. Target will be 1210, 1220.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 24,800 has been is being tested on the Nifty as we speak. The Bank Nifty is flat but above 51,000. Remember, this is a better index to look forward to because the Nifty Bank is now comfortably above all moving averages. Apart from that, let me just look at the broader markets for you. Okay, we have an advanced decline ratio of 1388 stocks in the green, 773 in the red. Remember, this is after a 6-day rally, so mild profit booking is expected. We track 19 indices for you. 15 of them are in the green. The top gaining index is the Nifty Auto Index, driven by none other than Bajaj Auto, and of course you have the Nifty Alpha 50 also showing strength. How about NSE 500? The advanced decline is almost the same, 274 stocks in the green, 224 in the red. How about the small cap index? The same, 5644 in terms of 100 shares, and the mid cap index 5149. So it's almost even Stevens. And let's look at I think the space for Aditya, which is a strong move that is coming in on Indigo. 4,500 for you, 0.5% higher. Again, a series of upgrades coming in yesterday. What are the charts here telling you, Aditya? Again, a long-term view on Indigo. It's a low beta stock.
Well, quite positive. Means after a big rally for last couple of weeks or months, we are seeing that Indigo has been consolidating, but overall structure is positive. It may find some resistance in the zone of 4,500, 4,540 odd levels, but means overall we expect that this stock is moving towards 4,900, 5,000 levels also. So this is a good stock to consolidate it. At current levels also one can buy. If there is some dip towards 4,400, 4,350, one can add more. Means eventually this stock is moving towards 5,000 levels, so it's just matter of time. Right now it's in the consolidation zone, but we have to believe that this stock will believe this consolidation in the near future.
Okay, Mayuresh, what is your sense on the overall railways space and the defense space right now after a long haul of consolidation has been underway? Many stocks are down even 25-30% from their all-time highs within these baskets. What are you advising fresh investors right now?
So the structural story actually remains, right? There is no two ways about it for both these sectors. Strong order books, execution has been reasonable and decent enough. Margins have been pretty decent on the orders and the execution that they are doing. And the outlook probably looks far more sanguine. However, I think in terms of two risk factors. One, I think in terms of ensuring that their order books are serviced completely, they need to do expansions because with the fixed assets that they've got, it is only the fixed asset turnover that can move that much, which means earnings are fully getting priced in. And the second, any sort of execution risk for any quarter or two might pose as a risk. So my observation has always been for these stocks, and that's what we've been doing in our global portfolios as well. Trim down your positions to cost and let the remaining positions run. There is no harm in doing it.
Okay, got it. So the markets are turning a little volatile. Nifty is flattened out. Several of the sectors are now slipping lower from the high levels as well. IT is down by 0.7%. You have the real estate index that's down 0.4%. FMCG, consumer durables, the banking entire pack, metals, they're all down in trade. And even the mid-cap 100 index has now slipped into the red. Autos definitely in the driving seat, 0.7% higher in trade. Infra, small caps, pharma, oil and gas. Those are the only pockets that are remaining in the green as of now, as also is the PSE index as well. So we are seeing some profits being shaved off at the higher levels. Let's get in Aditya here. Aditya, extreme volatility. The Nifty is also now slipped into the red, but holding on to that 24,800 mark. What are you expecting?
Well, on Nifty, we are expecting some more profit booking. I'm expecting that Nifty may come towards 24,740 to 24,700 levels. So we can see some 60 to 100 points kind of dip. And if we see this week, Nifty is already rallied by more than 1%. So some profit booking on Friday is not a bad idea. Players will like to book some profit, take some profit away from the table. So I think it means today we can see a subdued day. But yes, overall structure is positive. If Nifty comes towards 24,700, 740 level, that's a good level to re-enter into long positions.
9:33, ladies and gentlemen, we have lapsed the first 15-17 minutes of trade. There's a mild bout of profit booking, nothing to be worried about at all. The IT index is down about 1%, but the 500 index is in the green. The IT index showing a bout of profit booking because it had run up very smartly. Let's get Mayuresh into the conversation. Mayuresh, Pharma has done fantastically well. The top performing index in the month of August, needless to say, a record high. Any favorites here? And one more important clarification, is the rally now done in Pharma? Are the best gains already made? What do you think should be the view forward from here, especially on mid-cap Pharma?
So to a large extent, I think we are booking out as well. And you're absolutely right, sir. I think the kind of sectoral rotation that Pharma witnessed almost 3 or 4 quarters back, I think it is no longer an under-owned sector. So I think it is reasonably owned at this juncture. And a large part of earnings expectations are now getting penciled in. Again, I think the differentiating factor will be on 2 counts. One, I think there has been an over-dependence on Revlimid as a blockbuster drug for most companies, which the patent expiry should happen in March 26. So a lot of companies in the larger space are queuing up in terms of more specialty launches expected to happen. And a lot of companies within the mid-cap pharma space are looking at specialty launches. I think identifying those companies will be important. Some of the companies, as I mentioned, right, Torrent, Natco Pharma, have these specialty generics with them and branded generics, which protects their margins and also expectations of a reasonable amount of FTF pipeline. So yeah, I think Pharma being very selective at this juncture, but no harm in probably booking some amount of profits there. One sector that our technical team likes, and purely from a swing perspective, Sensor, might be the media sector. In fact, the team has just released a report yesterday, and their take is that the media index is probably looking on the verge of a very strong pipeline.
Okay, got it. So that's the view. Well, apart from the pharma space, okay, more and more sectors are now coming into the fold of weakness. We're only seeing autos and infra up and about. Let's look at what are the gains that are remaining in the Nifty Next 50. You do have some oil and gas companies also still holding up. IRFC within the railways pack is up and about. ICICI Lombard within general insurance is up. Geo Financial is up as well. We haven't discussed Geo Financial for a long time, Mayuresh. How are you looking at the prospects now for those who missed investing in it now? Until thus far, is there still a SIP strategy that you're advising on GeoFin?
Can be done because ultimately, Sakshi, I think it is going to get benefited from a lot of factors. The low-hanging fruit, the expectations in terms of the solid strategy that they are expected to deploy, the kind of management strategic bandwidth that is probably going to drive both the business prospects as well as expectations of earnings. So a lot more is getting penciled into in terms of expected earnings, and I'm stressing on the point on expected earnings.
Yeah.
There isn't anything on the balance sheet right now. So yeah, I think there are good prospects forward, but there is no harm in waiting for it.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll thank you, Mayuresh, for being with us on this show, and always a pleasure to host you and seek your wonderful insights into the markets going forward too. Thank you so much. We hope that you'll be back very soon.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. Thank you so much, Kelson. Have a good day. Thanks.
You too. Thanks a lot and hope you have a great weekend. Aditya, we'll continue the conversation with you. The other pocket that draws our attention is the entire capital markets related stocks. CDSL is something that Shell marked, but even CAMS is moving up about 0.5% higher. How are you assessing the moves across the board? Is there something that catches your attention in charts as well?
We have already seen a big move in means whole of capital markets, be it broking firms or be it the CDSL or CAMS. So I think we should wait for some time, let the stock take a breather and correct a bit. Means at current levels, if you see risk reward ratio is clearly not in favor. Stock has already seen a very sharp move. CDSL is already trading at all-time highs. CAMS has seen a big move from 3,800, 3,900 to 4,500 levels. So it may correct. It may correct towards 4,200 CAMS. So if it comes towards 4,200, it's a good buy, but not at current levels.
Okay.
9:38, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's a day which is seeing profit booking in the IT space. I won't be worried about as far as the profit selling is concerned, because we've had a very sharp run up already on IT, and we have a bit of profit booking coming in. Let me just get this to you in terms of how the money is now sort of slipping out of IT as well. They had made fantastic gains over the last so many days. Sakshi, one thing is clear, there are no gainers in IT today as far as the index is concerned. 2.5% down on Emphasis, 2986. Persistent is slipping 1.86% lower. Coforge is down 1.3. L&T, Mindtree, Wipro and Infosys down about 1% each. And of course TCS 0.5% lower. Now this is today's move. Just look at the change over the week, where all these indices will, all these stocks that I have talked about will be in the green. So despite mild profit booking in the last 5 sessions, Emphasis is up 2.7%, L&T Technology Services is up 4.8%, TCS is up 1.4%, and so on and so forth. So just mild profit booking. What are the charts of Aditya, RVNL and IRFC telling you? Gains increasing in this one as the market heads for a correction.
Well, RPNLs can see a minor pullback from these levels. Means today, stock, if we see last 6-7 days, stock has found strong support around this 13 days exponential moving average, and from those levels we are seeing a pullback. So this stock has a potential to move towards 620, 625 levels. But overall, we are not expecting that it is going to breach its previous high, which was somewhere around 640, 45. So probably it will trade in a range. that range will be 550 on lower side to 620-25 on higher side. But yes, from current levels, in short span, we are expecting some 25-30 points move in RBNL. Similarly, we see ILFC also. This stock is also trading in a range. It means it has a strong support around 170, 175. It has made that consolidation zone, and now it's on the up move. So it may move towards 196, 200 levels, but again, not beyond 200. So we can see some 5 to 7% kind of up move in both these stocks. But broadly, if we see broader view, they looks like that they will continue to consolidate for some more time in this range.
Okay. Got that. I think, Shail, were you mentioning anything about NIIT Limited? The stock is up 9%. Was there anything in the beginning that you had mentioned?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, actually, this is a rare occasion where promoters have actually bought from the market.
Okay.
We've been hammering block deals after block deals after block deals, but both promoters, Mr. Thadani and Mr. Pawar, have bought 17 lakh shares each from an existing shareholder who wanted a partial exit, and that's the reason why I mentioned this one in detail, because of the 100 block deals that we report a month, which is 5 a day, Sakshi, on average, where promoters are actually selling. Can we please see this chart of NIIT on the screen? Here is a company where promoters have sort of bought back, and that is a sign of extreme confidence. Sakshi, that was the limited point I was trying to make. Let me just look at the NIIT volume today. As far as prices are concerned, you mentioned a 9% uptick. Okay. Volume today is already 46 lakh shares, and which is 4 times the 5-day average of 15 lakh shares. Sakshi.
Right. One more stock that's up in about 6% is Pharma Projects. Remember, the company has announced a bonus issue of 1:1 and has set September 28 as the record date for eligible shareholders. That stock is also buzzing on the bonus news right now. So keep an eye out on that. Apart from this, office space solutions is something that's been consistently buzzing. It's now 8% higher in trade today. Let's get Aditya to talk about office. Would you have any view here? It's a recently listed stock, so you may have limited data to touch base upon, but the way it has rallied.
Well, yes, means not much data. Stock has listed in May only, so hardly 2.5 year, 3 months of data. But yes, structure-wise, if we see, it means last few days of data, stock looks positive. Volumes were good. Yesterday we have seen a high volume in this counter, and today again we are seeing some aggressive volume. So structure-wise, stock looks positive. I'm expecting it may move toward 975, 980 levels. So at current levels also it can be bought. And if there's some dip in this stock, it comes in the zone of 900, 875. It's a good level to enter into this stock. So stock means overall office space looks positive from these levels.
Okay, and Jain Irrigation is another company that we had marked in terms of stocks to watch. The company signed an MOU to facilitate the commercial release of advanced high-tech disease-resistant coffee plants to growers, and therefore the stock is also buzzing. It's up by about 5% right now. Jain Irrigation charts, what do you see here, Aditya?
Well, means if we see Jain Irrigation, this stock corrected from 85 odd levels to 65 odd levels. So around 65 level, it has a 200 days moving average, 50 weeks moving average. So that was a very strong support zone, and the stock has again bounced back from those levels. So I'm expecting it may move towards 80, 85 again. And if it breaks 85, then we can move towards 100 to 105 also. So overall structure, if we are looking for short to medium term, looks positive. It's a good buy with a stop loss of 64. Immediate target will be 80, 85, and above 85, 100 to 110 will be the next targets.
Hmm. 9:45, ladies and gentlemen, the first half an hour of trade has lapsed. And Sakshi, would you believe what has joined the conversation on the long side? Hero Motors. Why am I not surprised at all? 54.12. Let's look at the chart of Hero Motors again. Okay, this is a very nice move. 6 days of continuous rally, and now above 21 EMA. Aditya ji, what are the charts of Hero Motors telling you? All-time high is 58.94 that we saw in mid-June, exactly 3 months ago.
Well, in two-wheeler space, Hero Motors, he is one of the underperformer counter. Last 6-7 days, you rightly mentioned, stock has seen a big rally. But again, the stock is moving towards the resistance zone, which is in the zone of 5,500 levels. So we can see some profit booking from those levels. But yes, structure-wise, not negative stock. It's positive. It can be bought at current levels. If it breaks 5,500, then yes, we are expecting, it means we can expect it to test its previous highs, which is 1,500 levels also. So with a little bit of positional view perspective, one can continue to hold, in fact, add also. And on the higher side, it may move towards 5,800 levels.
Right. Well, apart from this, there's one stock that I wanted to draw your attention to, Aditya, and that's within the sugar space, Balrampur Chini. Consistent move is what we have seen on this space as well. And within this space, it's been Balrampur Chini that's been leading the move. How are you looking at the stock today? Again, in the F&O space, the stock is up by about 3% odd.
Well, I mean, its whole sugar pack, it is outperformed by a big margin. Means the kind of move which we have seen in last 3 months from 350 odd levels to 570. In this month itself, it is up by 18%. So definitely stock is in bull phase, and we are expecting that this stock may continue to see this kind of move. In between, we will see some minor dips, but overall structure is positive, and it is moving towards 640, 650 odd levels. So structure-wise, quite positive. At current levels also, it can be bought. We are continuously seeing long position getting built up in Balrampur Chini. So we are expecting that eventually it is moving towards 640, 650.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as Balrampur Chini is also concerned. Is there any other pocket, Aditya, that we should be paying attention to, which we have probably not asked you?
Well, OMCs is one sector which should be kept under the radar. Means be it HPCL, IOC, or BPCL. We have already seen big move in these stocks, but it still means we are expecting that they may see some big positive move still from these levels. Means after big consolidation, we have seen a breakout in BPCL. So I'm expecting that this stock has a potential to move towards 375, 380 levels also. So at current levels, very good buying opportunity in BPCL. Similarly, we see IOC. This is one of the underperformer among all the OMCs. It is consolidating in a range. That range is 160, 175 levels. When that is taken out, it is moving towards 200. So from a bit of medium-term perspective, one can keep an eye on OMCs, and any decline at current levels also it can be bought.
Okay, got it. So that's the view that's coming in.
949 late.
Yes, sure. Please continue.
Yeah, please continue, Sakshi.
Please, apart from this, on the PSU pack is something that I wanted to also get a wider understanding on the entire energy basket beyond the OMCs as well. Say stocks like Coal India and even the power makers, NHPC. How are you really looking at the power producers? Even Power Grid is just holding up. PFC, REC. These have been the outperformers of the recent past. How should one be looking at these stocks?
Well, FPC means we have to take it separately. Means FPC, REC, PFC, they are in a range after big. We have seen some profit booking in these stocks, and now they are showing some sign of recovery. But I'm not expecting a very sharp recovery in both REC and PFC. Probably REC may come towards 605, 610 levels. From those levels, we will see some profit booking. Similarly, we see PFC. It is trading in a range. It is not breaking its resistance zone of 525, 25. So both these stocks, REC, PFC, are not a ideal candidate to initiate long positions. Similarly, NHPC also is looking slightly range bound. I'm not expecting that this stock will show a very positive move from these levels. In fact, if we see Power Grid, this is one stock which is looking positive. This is one, it is trading near the support zone of 320, 325. From those levels, we have seen a pullback. So this counter has a potential to move toward 350, 355. Coal India is also one stock which is looking quite positive. Stock is almost trading at all-time high levels. So if it breaks this 540 odd levels range, then it is moving towards 565 to 580 levels. So among all these stocks, Coal India will be our top pick.
Fair point, ladies and gentlemen. We are now at 9:51, and what I would like to highlight is a very nice stock which all of us have tracked for so many days. Hindustan Aeronautics. Keep an eye out on this one. Strength coming in for two reasons. 1% higher, 48.18 for you. Defense Minister Shri Rajnath Singh is touring the United States and is most likely to discuss the delay of F404 GE engines which have to go into the Tejas aircraft. So that is something that you need to keep in mind, and keep this right there in front of your radar. No stopping Bajaj Auto, 10,203, 2.8% higher. Indigo is in fly mode, 45.65. Is this a record high for Indigo? This is what I wanted to check. Just a moment, please. No. The record high was 46.09 that we saw on 10th of June, and we are so far at 45.64. Let us see how this happens. The record close is 45.66. Let us see whether that is breached or not today. But joining the party on the railway side is now RITES, 670 for you. Remember, we've discussed RVNL, IRFC, and so many other counters. Let us see what is RITES telling us in terms of actual percentage gains. Okay, RITES is 2.1% higher at 671 almost. Time to look at pullers, draggers. Nifty back into the green. Extremely volatile day. Just a moment ago, 24,775 was tested. This is the first support. A very strong bounce coming in from that one. And you have Reliance contributing 15 points to Nifty's green tally. ICICI Bank contributing 10 points. Bajaj Auto 9 points. Tata Motors and M&M 6 and 3 points respectively. What is pulling the Nifty down? Infosys and TCS 18 and 10 points respectively. Titan slipping 1.5 percentage points lower. ITC and HDFC Bank also on the red side. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Well, apart from this, Shail, Indigo is pulling up within the F&O space, about 2% higher in trade. Aditya, what else looks positive, on Indigo now? Should one keep a keen eye right here?
Well, yes, means one can continue to hold a long position in Indigo. Means if once it takes a previous high, which is 46.09 levels, then we can see a very sharp move in Indigo. Means as we previously mentioned, we are expecting that this stock may move towards 5,000 levels in next couple of weeks.
Okay, 5,000 levels in next couple of weeks. Keep an eye out on Indigo right now. Remember, yesterday again there were brokerage houses reports that were targeting over 5,200 kind of targets right there on Indigo going forward from here as well. Apart from the cement space that we have been discussing, within the Adani group, is there anything that you look at positively right now, Aditya?
Well, we don't see Adani Group as such, and I would like to avoid Adani Group at current levels.
Okay, got it. And you did point out that banks is something that you're looking at. Banks are coming back from the low point of the day, and private banks is something that you were focusing on. You did mention Axis. How about beyond Axis? Is there anything else also within the banking space that catches your attention?
Well, IndusInd Bank will be one stock which can be kept under the radar. Means stock has underperformed in a big way. Means from highs of 1,700, it has corrected till 1,300. It has minor resistance in the zone of 1,380, 1,385 levels. When that is taken out, stock is moving towards 1,450. So at current levels also it can be bought. Similarly, the other private sector banks, Kotak Bank can be kept under the radar. So again, Kotak Bank has done nothing since ages. It is sitting in a range. We are again seeing some buying interest from 1750 odd levels. So this stock can move towards its next resistance zone, which is 1870. So both IndusInd and Kotak looks positive from these levels.
9:55, ladies and gentlemen. More and more stocks are joining the party. Sakshi, await a digit change in Apollo Hospitals. 69.50 15 for you. And let's look at the percentage rise on Apollo Hospitals. Needless to say, this is a record, and we are now 1.1% higher. 7,000 will be a digit change. Let's see when that happens. A great move on this one. Let me just mark record highs today. This is a very, very important statistic that we regularly highlight, and all-time highs. TVS and Bajaj Auto we've discussed many times. Apollo I just marked. There's no stopping the pharma space, which is today represented by Glenmark Pharma, a percentage point higher, Suven Pharma, Aurobindo Pharma, all at record highs, and Sakshi's marked Trent. There will be a digit change on Trent as well, headed towards 7,000. And of course, from the auto space, Ashok Leyland, 261.50. Before we let you go, Aditya ji, Ashok Leyland, what are the charts telling you for the medium term? Again, low beta, a quiet overachiever which markets have not appreciated, but has given sensible and decent returns to long-term shareholders.
Well, positive charts means yes, it's a slow moving counter, but overall we are seeing good buying interest in Ashok Leyland. So it has given a breakout about 255 to 66 levels. So I'm expecting it may move toward 275 to 80. So at current levels also it can be bought with a stop loss placed below 254 with target of 275 to 280.
All right, got that. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Aditya, for being with us on this special edition. It's time to wrap up the morning edition of Market Today. Flat as flat can be, 14 points higher on the Nifty, 24,826. But there are gains across the auto space led by two-wheelers. We also have the banking space come back into action. Infrastructure, oil and gas also participating now within the markets, and the Nifty Next 50 is up and about. It's the PSU stocks that are actually also moving up in trade. The Nifty PSU index does see stocks like HAL, that Shell marked about 1.6% higher, so strength returning. Coal India, BEL, HPCL, BPCL, Power Finance Corporation, Concord, NHPC. These are the stocks that are also in the thickest of action right now. Top movers on the Nifty are Bajaj Auto, Tata Motors, Coal India, Hero, Apollo Hospitals and BPCL, while top drags on the Nifty still remain as Titan after seeing some gains over the last few days, profits being shaved off. LTI Mindtree, Wipro, Infosys, Grasim and Tata Steel are some of those top drags right now. We'll wrap it up at that. Thanks from both Shell and me, but do stay tuned as the entire day we will continue to get you fantastic conversations from the top market experts to help you understand about more strategies going forward into the markets. So stay tuned. How are you looking at this new development between Zomato and Paytm last evening, and how Zomato will be taking over the ticketing business of Paytm? Who does it benefit more with this, and how should the retail investors be approaching both these internet-based stocks? On the one hand, we do know that Zomato has consistently been proving the